Hi everyone, welcome to your week 1 Monday video of society and the individual. Let's start off talking about week 1 assignments. So if you haven't already, make sure you review the syllabus. I even uploaded a video that kind of talks about the main points in the syllabus. So that's another resource that I'd like you to check out. In your main text, New World Reader, you'll want to look at chapters 2 and 4. And in OpenStax, the free electronic textbook, you want to look at chapter 1. There's also some additional resources in Moodle, some videos and some links that you'll want to check out. The main assignments will obviously be your forum. As usual, your initial response will be due Thursday by midnight, and then 2 peer responses by Sunday by midnight. There's a nice, in the syllabus, you can read a little bit more about the word requirements or the word count and kind of how all of the forms need to be. So make sure you check that out. Top learning points. Top learning points, you will need to, when you're reading in the syllabus, it talks about that you need to have a top learning point from New World Reader, from OpenStax, from the Tech Doc videos, and then the 4th one will be from your choice of any of those materials. And basically, a top learning point is something that you found interesting, challenging, something that surprised you, and you're going to want to, there's a worksheet that you'll have 3 columns you have to fill out for each top learning point. So there are 4 top learning points per week with 3 columns each. Again, you'll want to look at the worksheet, fill in the blanks, and then that'll be due Sunday at midnight. Also, too, I'll have you all do your own wiki page within Moodle. There is a video on how you can use it. You basically click on the wiki link, create your own page, and you are going to do 5 bullet points on what is sociology. And you want to make sure that you cite whatever source you use to create that information. There is a sample wiki page already in there, one that I did, so you should be able to see it or search my name, Jamie Crispin, and it should pop up. If not, I can send it out through one of the forums throughout the week if you want to see that example. And then finally, the learning assessment reflection. So there are 2 kind of personality tests that I want you to take. The links are in Moodle, and you want to click on them, take the tests, and then write a 1-page reflection about your results. Make sure you put in there exactly what your results were from each one of those assessments. Talk about how it related to you and if you think it was on point or not. So lots of fun stuff to get us starting to think about sociology. So here's just a quick slide. I'm not going to go through it all, but sociology is the main foundation. This is the discipline that we're going to be talking about in this course, and it truly, truly is the science of society. It talks about human relationships and how large institutions influence us, how we're shaped by our culture and those around us, and it is really a broad and diverse discipline. We're going to talk about some areas. You'll notice in each week we talk about a different kind of paradigm. So we're going to be talking about culture, race and ethnicity, sexuality and gender, social inequality, and finally globalization. So it certainly has a lot of perspectives and opinions in it based on facts. Sociology is really important. It makes studying society scientific. It really provides insight about the roles of institutions. Again, we'll kind of come to a definition about institutions, but it is another way to seek solutions to social problems. And it can change our attitudes about humans when we start to study this society from a scientific perspective. It truly can do a lot of things for us as humans. The Sociologist Way just wanted to say that it does talk about individuals and society. A lot of people might think that sociology is very similar to psychology, but psychology talks about people's minds. We're talking about culture and how it shapes us individually and in larger groups. Again, just want to reiterate that sociology is based on the scientific method. So there's lots of research and data that goes into coming up with these ideas and these patterns. Sociology looks for those patterns. We want to know what are the trends out there and then what they are and why are they happening. We kind of focus on structures, meaning larger institutions, things that can be seen in any city, state, or region of the United States. So that's a little bit about sociology. Each week I'll also focus on some terms. So this week we will be talking about culture, and I want you to understand a little bit more about where you come from. Tell me about, culture really is the consensus about values, attitudes, customs, beliefs, or any type of habits that are shared by a society. So you may want to think about what's the American culture. If you had to categorize it or define it, what are some shared values and attitudes that we hold as Americans? Norms are really interesting. I really love talking about norms. They are the internalized rules of conduct that really give us their expectations for society. And they can be unwritten rules of conduct or written rules of conduct. And so you may want to think about how we learn some of those things, how those that information comes to us, whether verbally, non-verbally, consciously, unconsciously. Why is it that we have to put shoes on when we go outside, or why is it, that you're supposed to say, hi, how are you, when you greet somebody on the street that you know. So starting to think about that. Finally, institutions, and this will relate to your forum post this week. They're large bodies of influence that create and dictate those cultural norms. So a lot of times we learn these norms through school, through our education, through our government, through our family structures. Sometimes people may have a spiritual church or synagogue or mosque that they learn some of these cultural norms in. So you want to think about that. What were some of the big institutions in your life when you were growing up? And what we might talk about a little bit later is how do these large institutions convey messages or send us messages, specifically maybe even about our role in life as a female or as a male or as a white person or as a black person. So things to think about. Here's a couple other terms that are really relate to one another is socialization. And this is where the process comes in, where we start to learn about those norms and expectations, and we start to understand the societal values. And this can occur across all lifespans. We don't just learn it when we're 5 and then that's it, we're done. It's a relearning, learning, unlearning kind of process. And again, kind of very similar to the social institutions. Agents of socialization can be your family, your peer group, school, work, religion, mass media, which is a very huge one. So that's just a quick little video about some of the main terms I want you to think about and an overview of the assignments for this week. So if you need anything else or if you have questions about anything, please reach out to me. Otherwise, I look forward to learning more about you in the forums, and I'll see you next week for the Monday video. Good luck.